Hello there, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I'm kind of a big fan of Resident Evil, as you can tell based on me not only having Resident Evil Village, but I have played the recent remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3. And when it comes to this new show, it definitely is impressive that they managed to get the voice actors for both Leon and Claire to come back for it, as it gives us a story that takes place after Resident Evil 4, and is essentially a side story in the Resident Evil universe. But as a side story, it's not going to mean too much in the grand scheme of things, and it's pretty much only there if you just want to watch Leon and Claire go on another big zombie killing adventure together. Well, let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that there's a conspiracy going on when it comes to the deaths involving a group of soldiers in the US military called the Mad Dogs, and when it comes to a zombie outbreak that happens in the White House, and when it comes to various events that seem to link a possible war between the US and China. So Leon and Claire go their separate ways when it comes to finding out the truth when it comes to the various goings on throughout the series, while another while several other characters try to show the U.S. true terror, in particularly this man named Jason, played by Ray Chase, and Shen Mei, played by Juan Zhao. But that's all I'll say about the story without spoiling anything. The story here is actually more of a political thriller as opposed to a zombie killing thrill ride as you'd expect from Resident Evil. On one hand, I'm glad it doesn't go for the whole Michael Bay style Resident Evil 6 style to the point where the story doesn't matter, because the story absolutely does matter here. But on the other hand, the political thriller element isn't as interesting as the story wants it to be. There's a little too much dialogue in parts where lines are repeated a little too often, and it does feel like the story doesn't reach its full potential, considering it only has 4 episodes. In fact, if you stitch the episodes together, you could almost make this a Resident Evil animated film. Though I would say it's probably the best Resident Evil animated film of the bunch, considering how the other ones went. And speaking of the animation, it's actually pretty good. I'd say it's on par with the cutscenes of Resident Evil 2's remake, which is to say it looks very faithful to the games. The characters look exactly how they are supposed to, and the new characters do fit in with the others' designs. Even President Graham, who is the father of Ashley Graham, looks pretty good, even if he does look plasticky in moments. In fact, some minor characters do look a touch off in areas, but for the most part, the animation does work well, and it's probably one of the better aspects of the series. Plus, while it does focus a little more on its political thriller aspects, there is still a fair amount of action here, involving zombies, bioweapons, and so forth, and that's handled pretty well too. I do feel I would have had more fun actually, playing through these sections rather than watching them, but they are still fun when it comes to watching Leon and Claire do what they do, and, that's always a joy. But the question if it's going to be an essential part of people's enjoyment of Resident Evil, if they feel like they have to watch it, I would say you don't have to if you don't want to. The story here is pretty much self-contained when it comes to what it wants to say and what it wants to do. And while it does happen to say a few things about the U.S. government, and it does say a few things more than I'd expect for a Resident Evil film to say about modern day, I would say it's not as smart as it wants to be, like I said. So if you just want to watch Leon and Claire do what they do in a Resident Evil adventure involving some characters you won't remember after the credits, you'll get it. It's just not with as much zombie killing action as you want, and it's not in a story that's as interesting as you might expect. But it's still got enough good animated moments and enough good character beats to make me actually enjoy watching it. So in a weird way, I'd still recommend it. It's kind of all over the map, but then again, the show's all over the map. So that's why I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. See you next time.